Whoosh. So guys, credit cards that offer big sign-up bonuses often come with one big catch, and that's that minimum spend requirement. What the credit card companies are doing is really a business tactic. They're trying to get users to spend more money to hit that sign-up bonus, but on the journey to do that, maybe they'll fall in a ditch, or maybe they'll just go over what they really have in their bank account trying to hit that sign-up bonus, and then they fall into debt and they accumulate interest, and the credit card companies start making money on you. The best analogy I can think of is like a horse chasing a carrot. So for minimum spend, if you're getting an entry-level card like the Chase Freedom card, you know, you spend $300 or you spend $500 and you get $150 back. Those are easy minimum spends, and you'll see with a lot of entry-level beginner cards, you know, it's not that impossible. You can definitely spend that much money. Just on probably food alone, you could spend that much money. But once you start leveling up your cards, you're getting into the American Express Platinum card, or you get into the business cards, you're gonna start seeing an absurd sign-up bonus, but an absurd minimum spend requirement as well. Now the first method I'm going to teach you guys is called the Sidekick method. This is what I call when you get an authorized user for your credit card. You don't have to put social security, you guys. You can put whatever name you want. You can literally put your Instagram handle in that credit card. Give that credit card to someone you trust. It could be a family member, it could be a sibling, it could be your best friend, but make sure you trust them. And the way I do it is we're paying credit card companies because we're using their money for the first 30 days and we pay them back. And you guys know how the whole system works with credit. Imagine being a credit card company for a credit card, if that makes sense. So what I do for my Sidekick method is that I'll give an authorized user card to my girlfriend or to one of my family members, and I'll tell them, look, put all your spend here, and I turn on the notifications on my phone. So every time they slide their phone, I'm gonna hear ding, I know how much they spent, and at the end of the month, it actually tells me which authorized user used or spent how much on that card. So what I do at the end of the month is I tally up and I figure out how much they spent on my card, and I tell them, okay, you spent this much on my card, you owe me this much, and this is gonna help you guys hit those minimum spends. And you really gotta think outside of the box, and this is one of those things that you really do. Make sure you trust that person though, because if they're like, hey, you know, I'm not paying you back, I'm not gonna Venmo you back or give you your money, you know, that's spent money, then you're kind of screwed. But if you're working with someone you trust or a family member, because, you know, they can't really get away with you because, you know where they live. So that's really gonna help you guys actually meet these sign-up bonuses too, because in essence, you know, you're the superhero, you got your sidekicks, and if they start putting spend on the card and they start paying you at the month too, then you're essentially going to be able to hit these sign-up bonuses way quicker. Alright guys, for number 2, it's going to be gift cards. Now, this really isn't my favorite way of hitting minimum spends, but there's a ton of people that do this effectively. Just be careful about how you do it. So before you guys even get started with gift cards, one of the biggest tips that you guys need to do is call the credit card company and tell them that you want to reduce the cash advance limit to $0. And now the reason I say this is because sometimes gift cards actually code as cash advances, and you do not want to have a cash advance on your account. By calling them and telling them to reduce it to 0, you're basically getting rid of that risk for it to happen. Now there's a ton of different ways to use the gift card method, but literally it's as simple as this. Say you're someone who loves to shop at Target or Walmart. Go to a grocery store, buy a bunch of gift cards. Don't go too crazy. Don't put a $500 spend on it, but I would do maybe $50 or $100 extra every time you go to the grocery store. Don't make it look too obvious because you do not want a financial review when you're playing around with gift cards. But if you're someone that loves to go to Target and Walmart and you know you're going to spend them anyways, you could put your spend on that gift card and then use that gift card at that store, and you're going to be able to hit that sign-up bonus. You could buy $1,000 to $2,000 or maybe even $3,000 worth of gift cards, and whenever you get to spend it, that's when you can spend it, but you can just have them around in your room and make sure you hit that sign up bonus in advance. Now there's other gift cards you guys can get. Many of you guys might know that if you get a Visa gift card, you get hit with a small transaction fee, and what people do is they actually load it back onto their debit account by doing a few other methods, but that's not really the focus of this video. If you guys really want me to talk about more advanced manufacturer spending techniques, then you guys are gonna have to message me or something, because that's not really something I want to promote to my general audience on YouTube. Alright guys, so for method 3, I call this one P2P, and that stands for peer-to-peer. So what this basically is that, say you go out and you eat out at a restaurant with your coworkers, you can say, hey, hold up everyone, hold up, let me pay for the meal, all of you guys Venmo me. That's peer-to-peer. If they're Venmoing you and you're putting your card down for a transaction, you're going to be able to hit those minimum spends pretty quick, especially say you're at a corporate office where your whole team goes out to eat. You can literally tell everyone there, hey, Venmo me, Cash App me, Samsung Pay me, Apple Pay me, Square Pay me, do whatever function you want, PayPal me, but let me put this $300 lunch on my card and everyone just send me your money. You do that a few times and instantly you hit your minimum spend just like that. Now another warning is if you guys are going to do P2P, there's different ways to doing it. You could actually just send people money, connecting your credit card to Venmo and then getting a 3% processing fee and literally sending someone like $1,000, but almost guarantee if you do that, especially with someone like American Express, you're gonna risk your account for a financial review or a shutdown. So I highly say be careful with that. American Express is shutting down a lot of people and they're cracking down on this, you guys. They know what's going on behind the scenes, and once you start doing $1,000, $2,000 or ridiculous amounts of money, then you could risk your account for shutdown. We don't want that to happen. So our number 2 and our number 3 were a little bit more risky, but number 4 is definitely a lot more on the safe side, and this is by using PLASTIQ. So PLASTIQ is just a middleman for your credit card and whatever company that you want to send off your money to. So say you guys have a mortgage, you guys have student loans, you guys have car payments, you have rent, you have utilities. The list goes on and on about the monthly payments, including the bills you have. What PLASTIQ does is they just middleman the credit card and then whatever bills you have to pay. So you pay the middleman right here. They send out a check to these guys and they actually make you pay a processing fee. So PLASTIQ is one of the most recommended ways that I tell people to go when you're trying to hit minimum spends. It's really the easiest. You don't want to actively use it because their fee is going to outweigh the rewards that you get with credit cards. The best time to use it though is for the minimum spend, because if you calculate the sign-up bonus, you're getting about a 20 to 30%, sometimes even more return on what you're putting down. But the downside is that if you have no bills, if you're not paying for your car, and a majority of the people in the US actually are, it's kind of an epidemic, you guys can look into it, but a majority of the people don't really have bills or things to pay, so it's hard to use PLASTIQ. But what I recommend to you guys, younger bloods like me, look into PLASTIQ for using your student loans. Everyone has student loans. Almost everyone watching this video probably went to college or dropped out of college, but you guys can use that and middleman it. Or maybe if you don't have bills yourself, you can say, hey mom, hey dad, like let me use this service to hit my minimum spend and you guys can pay me instead. It's all about being creative with these minimum spend, you guys. So guys, if you are interested in using PLASTIQ, be sure to use my referral link down below. It's going to give you $500 of fee-free transactions. So the first $500, they're not going to give you that percentage. You're going to be able to pay it off completely. And number 5. So number 5, you guys, is actually one of my personal favorite ways to hit minimum spends, and this is pretty damn creative. This is called retail arbitrage, and all that is, it's literally a fancy business literature term for buying, flipping, and then selling things for a profit. It's nothing too crazy. It's literally you walking out to 7-Eleven, buying a candy bar for $2 and then selling it to a kid for $5. It's technically retail arbitrage because you're selling something and making a profit for it. Now the way you guys can do this with credit cards is to go to Marshalls or TJ Maxx or to even thrift stores and basically buy a bunch of these items that you know will sell. Now Brian, how do I know if an item will sell? Well, there's so many different platforms where you can actually list your items. Now Facebook Marketplace is a huge place where you can actually sell your items, and a lot of people overlook this. Another place is Craigslist, another place is eBay, another place is Amazon, another place is StockX, another place is Poshmark. Guys, we can keep on going with the amount of places that you can go just to sell your items. There's so many platforms online, and we do live in a digital space where you guys can completely take advantage of that. So one of my favorite ways, one of my secret hacks that I'll share with you guys is to go to a TJ Maxx or Marshalls. If you know what days they get their new inventory, that's when you're gonna see a lot of success. What I do is I literally sucker up to any of the employees. It usually works better if it's a girl, and I'm like, hey, what days do you guys get like your new shipment? And they're like, it's Tuesday. Hint, normally it's Tuesday and Wednesdays they get their new shipment. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, I'll see you guys next time, you know? And what you guys do is when you get that new shipment, you'll see a bunch of gold. Sometimes they'll have Nike cleats, Jordan sneakers, sometimes they'll have Adidas Ultra Boost. They have like the most random things, but some of the hot things that do sell is anything that has a name brand. So Michael Kors, Polo, you'll find all of these items selling extremely well. What you guys want to do then is to go onto, for example, eBay and type in the search term or whatever that item is and go into completed or sold items. This will tell you how many items have actually been sold. This kind of gives you an idea of how fast things are selling and what the demand is for that item. So for an example, if I go to TJ Maxx right now and if I see a polo jacket, I'm gonna put in polo jacket on eBay and go to completed and sold listings and just see how many of these have sold. If I see like 10 sold in one day, you guys know for damn sure I'm gonna pick it up for whatever that discounted price at that store is, and then I'm gonna reflip it on eBay, make a profit, and then that money I spent on the cost of goods is gonna go towards my minimum spend requirement. Now this goes towards an actual business, like, so your credit card statement happens every 30 days. Guess what? The exchange date or the return date on receipts actually end in about 30 days too, normally for most stores. If you can't flip that item on eBay within that 30 days before that statement hits on your credit card, literally go back to the store and give them your receipt and just say, hey, I don't want this item anymore, and give it back to them if you find that it's not selling. This is one of the most foolproof ways to actually sell items online for no risk at all. What I always recommend people do though is get your receipt, don't put it in your cards, because most receipts, if they're in heat for a long time, it's going to dissipate the ink and you don't want to worry about that. I always have them print it to me, email it to me, and then with the printed copies I put it in a box that I don't lose in my room, and then, you know, when the time comes and you go back to that store, then I'll do that. But this is really one of my favorite ways to hit minimum spends, you guys. It's called retail arbitrage. Alright guys, number 6. So basically number 6 is going to be taxes. If you guys didn't know, taxes are a huge thing that comes up, and if you're someone that's self-employed or you have to pay taxes, you can actually use your credit card to pay off the taxes. There's 2 ways to do this. So you can use PLASTIQ, which I mentioned before for our number 4, or you could actually just go on irs.gov and they give you a list of credit card providers that are affiliated with them, and you can just punch in your credit card and pay for your taxes that way. That way you can just hit these minimum spends. Like I say, they do give you that transaction fee or that processing fee, but it's not really worth that much if you're gonna get a huge return in value. Now taxes are coming up, and I do know a ton of people that have not paid it. And now if you're working a 9 to 5 or a corporate job, then most of the time they do your taxes for you and you just get a return. If you're self-employed, then unfortunately you gotta pay your own taxes. You guys know how that is. So that's another way to hit minimum spends very easily. Save up for tax day, pay your tax in advance, because that's something you're gonna have to pay for anyways in the future. Alright guys, number 7, the final tip, is literally to plan ahead. There's no secret word for this. If you guys plan ahead for trips and get cards precisely before you're about to go somewhere, then you can really hit these minimum spends tactically and strategically. So say I want to go on a cruise in the future. I don't know when, but maybe it's 6 months from now, maybe it's a year from now. What I can do is get a credit card, put the cost of the cruise on that credit card, get that minimum spend, and if anything happens, then I could just refund it. Now this kind of gave me an idea while I was scripting the video. What if I paid for a cruise and then like 2 months before the cruise, I actually canceled it, but because all that time has passed and I got the sign-up bonus, would they claw back the sign-up bonus? That's like another hack, and that's really in a gray area, you guys. That's like close to manufacturer spend if you did something like that, but it really got me thinking because a lot of cruises give you a full refund day, so as long as it's not like 30 days or 90 days before, say I cancel that, but I get the reward. You guys following what I'm saying with this? I don't know the whole legality. I know it's in a gray area, so I want you guys to let me know about that because I'm honestly unsure of that. But guys, that really was the video on how to hit minimum spends creatively. I hope you guys enjoyed this and I hope you guys learned something. I know someone had to have learned something from this video. If you guys did, make sure you drop a like and drop a comment on what your favorite one is. Now guys, this has definitely been one of my longer videos, so if you have watched this whole entire thing, I do appreciate it, you guys, and I appreciate all the support you guys have been giving me. I'm not gonna lie, you guys, I filmed for almost 6 hours today and I did 2 videos, and the reason why it took 6 hours is because I kept stuttering, I kept messing up, and you know, you guys can see a lot in the bloopers just how how it can be sometimes for me, but it's a lot worse than that, you guys. I make the bloopers a little fun too, and I'm just trying to get used to YouTube as well right now. And if you guys have been following me for a while, you might see like a little bit of improvement, but it's still a far way from where I want to go. Like some of the people I look up to is like Graham, Stefan, like that man talks so well. I don't know how that guy talks so well on YouTube. I literally watch his videos, I study that stuff. I literally try to talk a little bit like him, but I can't do that. What I'm trying to say is recording videos is really tough. I don't see how other YouTubers can do it. And sometimes it takes me a really long time to record videos. Sometimes I can get it down in one take. Sometimes days will be like this where it's completely dark outside and, you know, I have to literally get a light right there to you know, have something to record myself because the sun went down. But today was one of those videos, and if you guys are watching this right now, then I do appreciate you guys sticking by. Beep. Now, another warning is if you're gonna do Beep. Now, this is the easiest way to go, but the downside is that Beep. Now, we talked about some. Now, number 2, number 3 were like borderline kind of scary for some people, I know. Beep. So but guys, that was really this video. But guys, that really was the video on how to hit minimum spends creatively.